Welcome back to the show. If you're over 50, you're probably familiar with the National Bowel Cancer Screening Program. Basically, you receive a test once a year and send it off with the hope of a negative result.
Well, in February, 69-year-old Graham Wilson did just that, but didn't receive the result he was hoping for. Now, some 5 months later, he's still fighting to secure an urgent specialist appointment to determine whether he has bowel cancer. Graham joins us now from Adelaide. Graham, thanks so much for your time this morning. Doctors say 30 days is the maximum time you should be waiting in a case like this. Why on earth have you been waiting so long?
I honestly don't know. I've been in contact with the hospital many times, and so has my doctors. I've been put on the emergency list, and I've been on that for 40 days. I'd like to know, what is an emergency? How long?
But you've done the right. You've done the right thing. You've actually gone and done this test at home. None of that's easy, but you found the result out, and now you can't get in for an actual test that's going to prove it right or wrong. That must be incredibly worrying for you.
It's very frustrating for me, and not only that, I see the ads on TV all the night from the National Bowel Cancer Association, and it just makes my blood boil, you know, that I can't actually get in and have this test. Because I was diagnosed with bladder cancer 30 years ago, which is very worrying for me, and especially at my age.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not good enough. And for you to not have any reason for this, I mean, I suppose you don't know how much longer you're going to be waiting either. Well,
I was put on the emergency list 40 days ago. Right, so, and that's only to get to see the specialist, not to have the colonoscopy that I need.
So what is going on? What are they telling you?
They're not telling me anything. I've flown the hospital 3 weeks ago, and they just said you'll receive a letter when you're due. And I haven't contacted them since.
Well, you're well and truly overdue now. What would you say to the South Australian government, to the health department there, that's really not doing its job?
Well, they've got to pull their finger out. They've got to do something. Because I look at it this way, the longer this goes on, if I have cancer, it's getting worse, and maybe a simple colonoscopy is not going to be the answer for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I live with every night.
Oh, Graham.
This is like a ticking time bomb for you, potentially.
Yes, it really is.
So how do you deal with that?
Well, I've had to go back and seek help through a psychologist, which is now putting more pressure on the health system, you know? Because, I just, very frustrating. And because you see the ad every night on TV, it just triggers your brain all the time. So, yes, very frustrating.
Awful, man.
Yeah, the irony of all that. Reminding people to do the test, you do it, but you might be waiting. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, it is very ridiculous. Yes. And I didn't know there was a 30-day waiting list.
A 30-day waiting list. I mean, this is just ridiculous, mate. Well, we have reached out to SA Health as well, who said they will be in touch with Graham. Let's hope that's really quick. Please let us know, mate, and all the very best.
Yes. OK, no worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Thanks.
Well, it's been a horrific start to the flu season, with a spike in influenza B cases causing a rise in the number of children going to hospital.
For more, we're joined by the head of infection at Melbourne's Monash Children's Hospital, Dr Jeremy Carr, and mother of two, Meryn Schnabel. Thank you both so much for your time. Meryn, your two sons recently came down with a bad case of the flu. How are they?
Yeah, they're a lot better now, but oh wow, it was a lot. Being a parent, you know, when your kids are sick, it's so stressful, and you know, it's hard. They're better now, but we had coronavirus last year, and I thought that was bad, but this influenza B was just something else. It really knocked them around for a good 10 days. So they're better now, but. Highly recommend getting the flu vaccination. Just because it is
terribly
so
stressful, and it is intense. Did your kids go to hospital, or how did it come on?
No, thank God. They didn't have to. But, you know, like kids, my boys anyway, they're super active. And initially I just knew something was not right because they were really sort of fatigued and they were off their food and all of that. And then they come down with the temperatures. And my eldest son as well, he actually was vomiting. It was that severe for him, which was not nice. But we didn't have to go to hospital, which was great. But we did go to the doctor and that's when they said that, you know, it was the influenza B. So yeah, a stressful 10 days as a mother, looking after both of them, but they're better now. And I just really highly suggest getting the flu vaccination and just to be washing your hands like all the time.
Yeah, you've got to take care, don't you? Dr. Carr, how many cases are you seeing come through your hospital doors? We know just how dangerous it is. We've had those 2 fatalities in Queensland and in New South Wales recently.
That's absolutely right. So at Monash Children's, we're seeing double the number of cases come through compared to May.
Oh my goodness.
So in June we had 200 cases, and thankfully not many need intensive care support, but still the volume of patients and the number of children, and we've heard also the number of children who are suffering at home as well, trying to get through over many, many days is astounding.
So where's the border for you? I mean, parents at the end of the day get very stressed. They're not sure what the triggers are. Most are really responsible, so don't want to push it and take the kids to hospital. Where does it get to the point where you go, righto, you just got to go to hospital?
It's a really good question. I think overall that as a parent, you just have to trust your instincts and you've got to seek help when you think you need help. And there are many ways that you can get help through nurse on call, your local GP, and then at the last resort, your emergency department. So the sort of things to really worry about are fast breathing or laboured breathing, or not really eating enough, vomiting as we've heard about, signs that you might be worried about dehydration that you're not able to manage with those simple things at home.
Just awful out there at the moment. Appreciate you being on the show. Thank you.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
That never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?